perfectly safe because I was wearing the best climbing harness in the business, secured by 8,000-pound test line, which wound through lots of wooden posts on the ground, and the other end was held by 3 of the most experienced leaders that day. But that's what I had to do next, was to climb, stand, and jump. Now, the logical part of my brain said I was perfectly safe. But the other part was screaming, "Get out of Dodge, you idiot! You're going to wind up as a pool of Jell-O or maybe a roast at the base of that pole." There was also the not inconsequential fact that I could look like an absolute damn fool in front of 30 people at a Saturday ropes course. You see, I had met a fellow named John Howell at a Dale Carnegie instructor training class. And after we got to know each other fairly well, he could see that I was doing quite poorly. I had recently been divorced, and at about the same time pushed out of an 18-year career in Exxon. And I was wondering, what was I doing wrong? John invited me to come to the regular Saturday ropes course that he and his company gave. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with ropes courses, it's a series of personal challenges, usually outdoors, but can be indoors as well. And these are used for personal development and team building. You can do them inside, but it's those high challenges that really bring out the fear in you. And they can also lead to personal transformation. You can get past the blocks that are holding you back. Well, there was no delaying it. I walked to the back of the pole, and I began to climb. Now, the first 10 feet, not too bad, except when you look down and you see a very uncomfortable gap growing between you and Mother Earth. It's about this time that the thought process gets really concentrated. In fact, there is only one thought. Please don't let me die! Oh, come on, Richard, that's ridiculous. Just keep going, just keep going. So up another 15 feet. There's only 10 feet to go. With a quick look to see that the people were still holding on to the rope. It was amazing to me because there must have been a magician in that crowd, because all of a sudden my feet were filled with 100 pounds of lead. I couldn't get them up onto that next rung. But I kept on going. The thought at that moment was, well, you know, there's a big dilemma here. How am I going to stand up on the top? My head has now cleared the top of the pole, but there's nothing to hold on to. So you have to... I thought, wow, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to attempt to stand up on that thing, and I'm going to lose my balance. And then they're going to let me down very slowly so that everybody has a good laugh. Because I'd seen that happen just a few minutes earlier. All right, focus. You've got to focus. That's the key. So while I'm trying to figure that out, the thoughts that go through your head are absolutely crazy. I was thinking about the reading of my will and who was going to get my collection of matchbooks. Wait, who would want my collection of matchbooks? All right. I'm clear of the pole down to the knees. I'm going to figure this out. So slowly, I think I used 2 hands to get 1 foot up on the top of the pole. And with a death grip on those rungs, I managed to get the other foot up and actually stand up. My head now is 40 feet above the ground. I was told later I I was doing a great Elvis impersonation, you know, with the knees knocking like crazy. But I had done it. But before I could bask in that accomplishment, what's over there, that trapeze? It's 4 feet away, but it might as well have been the Grand Canyon. And I am not Evel Knievel. So I thought, okay, now's the time to practice my telekinetic powers. Come closer, trapeze. Come on over here. But it resisted me, the darn thing. All right, I have to go for it. So I jumped, grabbed the trapeze, my hands slipped off, 10 foot of free fall, and then they lowered me gently. Once I had gotten the harness off, John came over to me and said, well, what happened? And then the fateful words that I had used my entire life escaped my lips. Well, I tried. John looked at me like you would look at a cockroach. And he said, well, I tried. You did? I was stunned. No one had ever challenged me like that. I said, of course I tried. I jumped, I grabbed it, so my hand slipped off. Very few people have caught it this morning. So he gave me one of those looks. He said, you happy with that? What was your intention? Were you focused on the task? Did you see yourself holding on? He also said that try is a great excuse. These thoughts hit me like a bomb. You know, it's very interesting, a side note, that Stephen Covey, about 10 years later, he made a fortune with a book called The 7 Habits, one of which is begin with the end in mind. What a concept. This is what John was telling me. In many aspects of my life up to that point, I had not focused on the outcome. I was content with trying and not succeeding. Intention, that was the key. It's not good enough to try. You can do or you cannot do. But trying is an excuse. If you decide to do a thing, focus on the end. Focus on your intention to succeed. And what will that require? See, I had let the first accomplishment of standing up on top of that pole sap me of the focus required to complete the next task. The jump. The very next Saturday, I was out at that course again. Climbed up on that pole, stood up there, grabbed that trapeze, and hung on. In fact, they said, Richard, let go at some point today? My question for you is, what tasks or goals in your life are eluding you? Because you don't have the end in mind, the intention to succeed, and the willingness to wipe the words, well, I tried, from your vocabulary.